Hey everybody, it's Gypsy, and today is what? Saturday. God, it's September 21st already. 2024. I just cannot believe. I know, it seems like the older you get, the more quickly time goes by. But it's true, but as a spiritualist, I also feel that as a society, a collective, the planet, we have kind of we're shifting, and I think it has made it, even though time is more of a concept, it kind of has made it so things are going by quicker. Wow, it's 2 cars on the road this morning. That's a lot of traffic. Anyways, so I do believe it is. I'm trying to figure out what these people are doing. Okay. Going by faster, but it's also true as you get older. You know, when you get to my age, I don't understand why it would go by quick. I mean, it's not like I'm raising children and working anymore. That's when time went by slow for me, was the working part. Anyways, I am getting off topic here. I just got done listening to a really good podcast. I don't know how many of you would like it, but I liked it. But anyways, the first thing I want to mention, I found this part to be so exciting. This one guy, they were talking about, how to adapt to how things are changing. And they are changing. They know we can't go backwards. I think we all know that. But he said he has been in a lot of large, like the biggest cities in the United States. And he is finding that the communities, the individual communities are starting community gardens. Oh my God. I just got so excited. It makes me so happy. He says what they're doing is like banding together, cooperating. They're even like tearing up old parking lots, taking off the asphalt or cement or whatever, and, like replenishing the soil and stuff, and planting gardens. And it's a community garden for everybody in the community. And, he says what prompted this is our changing times. Well, the biggest thing in these communities is food is no longer affordable. You can't just go into the grocery. I mean, I can't. You can't just get whatever you want anymore. So people are having community gardens. And that is so beautiful. I think growing your own food is beautiful. But when an entire community gets together and supports each other like that, I mean, it just makes me feel wonderful. And I think no matter where you live, you should consider doing that. All right, where I live, people have larger properties, so it's easier to have a huge garden. But I mean, I think human beings are so creative and so resourceful that no matter the situation, they're going to figure out how to make do and how to survive. I think that is evident through human history. It's how humanity has survived so long. And I think this is a perfect example. And I really believe that no matter what happens with this weirdness that's going on now, we're going to make it. We're going to be fine because of this cooperation and creativity that we naturally have. Now, I know many of you are not into the woo-woo stuff, but other planets, now I've not had a direct discussion with anybody on this, but I have heard from other humans that people on other planets are impressed with our resiliency, and we are a very resilient species. And I just think, man, if you can get an entire community in the city, because for me, when I go into Cleveland, when I'm in the city, I don't even have to be in Cleveland. I can just be in the same county. The attitude is different. People don't seem to know each other. People are not as friendly as out here. I just feel more cooperation, more of a sense of community out here. But when I hear somebody say that's going on in cities, it gives me such hope that, maybe things will change in that department, which I think is a really, really good thing. So anyways, this whole podcast was about, how do we adapt and cope with the changes. I don't even want to say with what's coming anymore. It's been changing for a very long time. We just didn't notice it. I really think in the last few years we have been made aware of it through a couple different wake-up calls. Things that the way things have been are not what we thought, and things are changing, I think, more quickly now, but I don't know. Anyways, you hear a lot of talk about how, like, a certain group of people wants to go back to the past. Now, that very well may be true. Because there's a lot of people, they can't deal with it. Not that they can't. They don't like to deal with change. I don't think anybody cannot deal with change. I think there's just people who just don't like to deal with it, don't want to do it. So, maybe it's true for those people. But I think, for the most part, it's not going back to the past. I think it's people like me who say, reconnect with your ancestral knowledge. Like, for decades, I would always think to myself, how did my grandparents do this? How did my great-grandparents do this? When we didn't have this convenience, what did my ancestors do? Okay? And that's what I'm talking about. Because I don't think we can ever go backward. We cannot go back to the past. You can't. Even if it appears we regress, I don't think we ever truly go back. So what I'm thinking is people who hear people like me say this, okay, I love to farm, I love to preserve food, I love to do handmade, homemade, all that kind of stuff. I've always loved what I am not really, I use technology, obviously, I am right now. I'm not really big into it, like, I really don't care one way or the other. I would say the majority of my life, well, we didn't have the internet or computers or, like cell phones, especially cell phones like we have now. So for me, I could take it or leave it. I find it fun in some respects. In other respects, it is dangerous. But I'm not really into it. I do prefer the old ways. But I also am aware it's not for everybody. But here's my point. Everybody should have the knowledge how to do that. How to live like our ancestors did. Because I think, as we're all saying, it is, it's freedom. It is taking care of yourself. Okay? Because we got to a point, especially after the world wars, we started depending on Big Brother to feed us, clothe us, everything, to do everything for us. We have so many rules and regulations, even in the United States, that freedom is just an illusion here. It is. We have no privacy. I mean, if true freedom means you have privacy. So, I think when you are capable of feeding yourself and clothing yourself, etc., that's true freedom, because you don't have to rely on somebody else. And we should never, ever, ever put ourselves in a position where we are beholden to someone else. Ever. Now, because of the society I live in a sense, I am beholden, and I keep trying to figure out ways to get out from under that. And I'm always working on that, always thinking, always being creative. anybody else. I want my family, my descendants, to be able to fend for themselves, take care of themselves. So that's what that's my purpose in life. Right now. I believe your purpose has changed throughout life, but right now that's my purpose. So I believe we should all feel that way. We should all be in a position where we don't need big government or anything. I always feel take care of yourself first, then you take care of your family, and then your community. Okay? When you start getting too big, that's when you start having problems. So you start going outside communities, people start losing freedom because less and less people are living freely. They're living under the majority's rule or the rule of one. And that's a problem because I think everybody should be free to live the life they want. So we should never ever go too big. So that's what I'm saying. We can't go back. We can't. But we need to retain ancestral knowledge. I mean, when money's tight, I always have food. I always do. Because I'm always growing food and I'm always preserving it. So I don't need to worry about food. I don't. So, that's just one example of being independent and keeping your freedom. So, and, maybe me vending is another way. Because for me, I don't know, I prefer that one-on-one interaction, where I'm dealing with people directly. It's more human to me. The internet and everything, I don't know. It's not for me. I prefer just, being in a market setting and talking to people, and okay, so, kind of like bartering, not bartering, it's bartering where I have a set price on something, and somebody might ask me, well, how much would you come down, or will you come down this much? Or what if I buy 2 of these, do I get a discount? I don't know, I just love, and I love that I can see, what are people looking for? What do they want, It's just more personal, I don't know. It's just me. But in that way, yes, I'm old-fashioned, but I know we can't go backwards, and you don't have to give up your modern conveniences, but do retain your ancestral knowledge. So I'm going to leave you with that. Let's be, and make it a joyful one.